Sup, fucker?
How the hell are you?
I'm great. I manifested you to say that.
I could feel it, and I wasn't going to say it, but it just came out.
Yeah, it was just like... it was... we were vibrating on the same frequency.
Yeah. Universe contacted my cells and was like, just took over, dude.
Yeah.
You know?
I just willed it into action.
I like it. It felt kind of weird, but I just, relaxed and just let it happen.
Just receive it.
Yeah.
Receive it.
Positively affirmed your energy.
Yes. So yeah, we're going to talk about manifestation. Before we do, I have been prompted to say a phrase on the show.
Really?
Because somebody asked me to say it. And
really?
The phrase is, y'all are low-key sleeping on Roblox porn.
Is that a thing?
It's so my son's BFF or whatever keeps asking me to say it on the show, and I was like, okay. Because the first time he said it, I cried a little bit laughing, because it's just such a silly fucking thing to say.
Yeah.
But it's hilarious.
I was more intrigued.
Yeah, like, is there really Roblox porn?
Yeah. Got some homework too, I guess.
Indubitably.
Roblox porn. Interesting.
Anyway.
Or Minecraft, I guess.
Yeah. Nothing like pixelated body parts.
Just like square boobs.
Well, I mean, that's all we had back in the day. PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
Nintendo 64. Just all blocky.
I don't know, Lara Croft.
Lara Croft with her fucking... her big old pyramid boobs.
Yeah. Have you seen that movie, Minecraft?
No.
Oh.
Elsie was trying to get me to rent it on streaming last night. I was like, hard pass. I'm sure it'll be on Disney Plus or something here soon.
Yeah. It's kind of funny.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's got Jack Black in it.
Well, it's Jack Black, and it was
Jason
directed
Momoa.
by Jerusha Hess. So he did Napoleon Dynamite and Nacho Libre.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of in that vein of just like silly,
goofy. Yeah. See, Jack Black is like one of those people that, like a lot of these big Hollywood stars where they play the same character over and over, but you don't mind it with Jack Black.
Yeah.
When it's The Rock, you're like, oh my God, enough.
And Jason Momoa is actually, I always think that he's kind of annoying in shows, but he's supposed to be annoying in this movie, so it kind of works.
I figured with the haircut, with like the bangs, he's probably supposed to be a tool.
Yeah.
He's I bet he's a really cool dude to have a beer with.
Yeah.
But his acting is not great. He's somebody that I would define as he doesn't have great acting skills. He has big presence and charisma.
Yeah.
That's it.
And maybe that's what it is like in a lot of his movies I've seen him in, it seems like he's like trying super hard to be this thing or this character or whatever that he's trying to portray. Mm-hmm. Instead of just being it, kind of leading into manifestation. It was like really great actors, you don't have to work too hard to believe that they are that character, right?
For sure.
And for the most part, it's because they believe that they are. And so it's like method acting where they live the persona that they're trying to portray to a point where they kind of brainwash themselves into believing that's who they are. And and looking into manifestation, that's kind of what it seems like actual manifestation is.
It really is. And I was even listening to this one guy, and he used the word brainwash yourself.
Yeah.
Like in those terms.
Mhm.
A lot of, when you want something, it's not just about like envisioning it or using your mind's eye to envision that you have it. It's also like take in the sounds and the smells and everything. You have to brainwash yourself to say, I already have whatever it is I'm trying to manifest.
Right. Well, I think that's, when people hear people talking about like manifestation, and I did the same thing. It was like, that's horseshit, like, until you actually look into it and kind of realize what it actually is, then it's like, okay, that's possible. So when you think about manifestation in the beginning, I thought about, it's like, okay, I'm going to think about me having a beach house or $1 million or whatever it is, and then it's just going to magically appear. Mm-hmm. In reality, what it is attuning yourself and focusing on why you want that, and then changing yourself to become that vibration that'll attract that energy or whatever it is that you're focusing on.
Yeah, I think that's the woo-woo part, is like somebody coming at the idea of manifestation from like a brand new perspective and saying, well, I want to be a billionaire.
Yeah.
Didn't work. Well,
your hair starts to fall out and you want to like build a rocket to go to space.
Yes. Well, manifestation doesn't mean anything without the law of detachment, where you have to detach from the outcome that you're looking for, in a way where you think, if I manifest $1 billion, it should just appear. Instead, what it could be is you manifest that outcome, but you cannot be attached to the idea that it's just going to appear. It may come to you in a completely different form, where it might be, you don't get that actual like pile of cash, but the next day you may think of a product idea, and then you build it, you put it in place, next thing you know, you made $1 billion on it.
Yeah.
And it's that sense of detachment from the outcome is what actually gets you to it, whatever it is.
Oh, shit.
Oh, do we have a...
I don't know who that is, but let me turn this off.
Oh, I thought you were going to have one of those telemarketers that we could punk.
You know what? So you know that like India's kind of in a conflict with Pakistan, right? Mm-hmm. And ever since that's happened, I've been getting a lot less calls. It seems like they might be busy.
They got some shit going on.
Yeah. So it's, for me, it's been a little bit, kind of nice.
I've been getting a shitload of them.
Really?
Yeah. Which I don't answer any of them. I'm just like, because it's always at the most inconvenient time.
Yeah.
Like when I have my earbuds in, I'm listening to music or something, and it's, God, fuck off.
Who the fuck is... Oh, you again.
Fucking telemarketers. But yeah, I do really like the idea that you have to detach from that outcome, because you'll get so focused on whatever narrative it is you're trying to drive, of like, let's say it's, I want to meet my specific person, and now you're just so hyper focused on that you're just like predicating what you think it should be.
Yeah.
But that may not be what it actually is,
Yeah. Yeah, for me, the understanding is like, if that's what your goal is, you have to break that down. So like you want to manifest finding the perfect person, perfect mate or whatever. You have to kind of break it down and look at, what does that mean to you?
Yeah.
What does this person specifically have? What traits do they have?
Big tits.
Okay, big tits. and then kind of reflect that on yourself and say, what is it that I'm doing right now that's not getting me to that thing that I'm trying to get? And then starting within yourself, to change the things inside of you that's going to attract the thing that you're looking for.
Yeah, it's putting yourself in alignment
Right.
with what it is you're manifesting.
Right.
Which seems so like simple on paper.
Yeah.
Because you think about, going back to, I want $1 billion. Do I have the mindset to have $1 billion? I do not. I promise. I would blow it all in one day. I would figure out a way. So
It seems super easy.
I mean, $1 billion might be a stretch, but $1 million, I could, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You could easily dump $1 million in a single day.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's putting yourself in alignment with your manifestation and vibrating at the correct frequency of you being you who already has it I think is extremely important. It's just difficult because we get caught up in the idea of, oh, I'm never going to have $1 billion. It's never going to happen, and that's when you're vibrating at that lower frequency. But when you can vibrate at the higher frequency of, I already have $1 billion, dude.
Yeah.
It's cool. Once it becomes a normalized thing within your mind, and somebody I was listening to said it like in the most perfect way of, you go out to buy a car and you pick the right car and you love it and you're excited and it's awesome and you can't wait to get it and drive it home. But after a few months, it's just normal that you have this car.
Yeah.
So if you can baseline it to where that's a normal thought process for you, you're already kind of vibrating in that correct space.
Yeah. I think we listened to the same one.
Was there 85 million fucking ads in there? Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
And it was like a 22-minute like
With only
actual
8 minutes of actual like podcast.
Yeah, I believe that too, and it's really like aligning yourself, and then instead of having, looking at that main goal, and once you think about it in your mind and be like, I'm never going to get there. You've already manifested that it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you've got this main goal, say that you've got 10 years, say you created a dream board and you have like a mansion on there or whatever, and 10 years, I'm going to work towards getting this mansion. This is what I want. This is what I want. Nothing's going to happen if you just sit there at your desk staring at it, wishing for it. You have to break it down into, year by year, month by month, week by week. What am I doing today to get there? Mm-hmm. And as long as you're doing one of those things a day, it starts out as hard things, and you have to visualize yourself doing the hard things and visualize yourself completing these tasks and visualize yourself taking every single step and then doing those things, following through, and you're creating brick by brick a pathway to whatever it is that you're working towards. And by doing that, it's a lot more attainable, and as you can see your progress, day by day, you can see that it's okay, this isn't impossible. And you're just brainwashing yourself into realizing that you can do anything you set out to do. It's just going to take work. And that's what a lot of people have this preconceived notion about manifestation, that you just think about it and wish it, and then the universe is going to answer.
It's just going to provide.
In all reality, like, the universe doesn't fucking care what you're doing. You put work towards something, and eventually you most likely are going to get there as long as you keep on pushing for it. So
yeah, I think there's a certain amount of the universe playing into that. I've had the hardest time my whole life just accepting that everything happens for a reason. I still can't fully grasp it. But what I do think is that if you are putting yourself in alignment with things, if you are vibrating at the correct frequency and you are putting into work, all of these things come together to actually get you what you want. And that's just the universe finally aligning. But it's all the pieces have to be there. It's not just, I'm going to sit here and wish for it.
Yeah.
It's like you said, you still have to put in the work. You have to structure what it is you want. You have to become the person who's able to accept whatever that thing is,
Yeah.
you know, and like with the manifesting a specific person, like, sure, I can manifest that person right now. Am I in the space to receive that person in my life? You know, because it's like you could meet them and then they go, I don't even like you.
Yeah.
You're kind of a tool or whatever. Versus if you've done the work to become a better person, now you have space to receive that. So I think in terms of the universe playing a factor, it does play a factor, but it's not like God's up there going, you know what? He's wishing really hard. Give him $1 billion, you know.
Wish is granted.
You know, rub that lamp. Ah, yeah. No, it doesn't work like that. But I think there is just all those factors into it, because there is the work, there is the spirituality aspect of it, and then there is kind of just the unknown, the ether. Because you can manifest something right now and work toward it, and then in a year or however long you may go, I don't actually want that anymore.
Right.
So it's, the universe has a weird way of working things out. Life is stranger than fiction.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard another guy that was talking about it, the importance of, like, finding out what it is that you want and then breaking down why that is. Mm-hmm. So, like, say you're trying to manifest a Ferrari. And so, like, man, I want to get this Ferrari. Finally, you get the Ferrari. You work towards it, get the Ferrari, and then find out that nobody cares that you got this Ferrari. And then you realize that, okay, the reason why I wanted this Ferrari is because I thought maybe people might view me differently. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, really, okay, I didn't really want the Ferrari. I just want people to see me as something other than what they see me as now. Whereas, you know, I didn't have to get the Ferrari. I just had to change some things about myself that are fucking, maybe I'm a fucking asshole that wants a Ferrari.
I don't know. I think I'd rock a Ferrari.
Yeah.
And some really, like, short shorts, Hawaiian shirt.
I think, yeah.
Go just straight mustache, no beard.
Yeah.
I think I could do it. Was it a Ferrari?
Magnum DI.
Magnum DB.
Yeah.
It was a Ferrari, right? Red Ferrari.
I was saying Magnum Dave-inci.
Yeah. So. Oh, I like that. I like that better. But yeah, he drove a Ferrari, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, for just a split second, I was like, was it a Porsche?
No,
I always have to worry about Mandela effect.
Yeah, he had them fucking long, hairy legs, dude.
Fuck yeah, he did. That was the man's man, too.
Yeah, some OP shorts.
Yeah.
Corduroy fucking shorts. What are they called? Hoochie Daddy shorts?
Hoochie Daddy, yeah. I was always curious, though, like, how did he keep his dick and balls in those?
He had a fucking banana hammock from space, dude.
Well, to be fair, he's probably wearing those tighty whities back in those days. Probably just tucked it back. He probably used it as a belt. It is Tom Selleck we're talking about.
Yeah.
Just like, we're going to wrap this around a couple times. Anyway, enough about Tom Selleck's dick.
I don't know if you can talk about it enough. But yeah, I mean, maybe we need to manifest Tom Selleck's dick. Focus on that.
Oh, I could just picture that clip that keeps going around the internet right now of him, like, looking at the camera and smiling, which is like like all 80s style. Oh, I keep seeing it all the time. Most of the time the caption is like, fuck, what was it? It was like, when you're feeling really unhinged, so you look at the invisible camera and smile. Or when you really want to slap the shit out of your coworker, or, you know, all kinds of those. Next time I see one, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking about it the other day, where you kind of have like a niche kind of thing in TikTok about manifesting, and then there's no real figureheads within talking about manifesting, or, you know, on like YouTube and stuff like that. But the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, it's kind of the opposite of alpha male culture. Where alpha male culture is just like very strict goals, nothing else. You need to be rich, you need to be ripped, you need to grind and hustle 80 hours a day, you know. I slept 25 minutes today. I got up and I've had 9 workouts since, you know. But manifestation is kind of the opposite, where it is a more long-term process where it is something that requires effort on different levels than just, oh, I went to the gym and I made money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was kind of a weird thought that I was playing with, but I also got sucked into that alpha male portal again, where watching YouTube videos of people just shit talking all these terrible, terrible people.
Yeah, I've been, I don't know, I keep seeing like the manosphere people kind of popping up in my feeds now, and it's like, these guys are still a thing? I thought we fucking destroyed these people.
Did you not see episode 40? Or whatever it was.
But yeah, there was one lady that was talking about it from kind of a neuroscience space, talking about Olympic athletes, how they manifest themselves to be great athletes or whatever. And it's visualization, practicing, but like, along with like visualizing the things that you want, you have to visualize yourself doing the work and the upset or the hardships that you're going to face. So she was talking about it like, imagine somebody is getting ready to run a marathon, and so they're visualizing just the finish line. Mm-hmm. And it's like, no, you have to visualize not only the finish line, but like tying your shoes before the race, getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go do a workout, you know, every single day, running in the rain when it's 10 degrees outside, or in the snow when it's, you know, super cold and you don't want to do that. But having the mental fortitude of visualizing yourself just pushing through it, so when that actually happens, when it's like, okay, I got to go work out, you look outside and it's raining and it's super comfortable and super easy, be like, yeah, I'm not going to do that today because it's cold outside and that seems pretty fucking shitty. But if you've already visualized yourself doing that 100 times, then when it actually happens, you look outside and you see the snow or the rain that's coming down, and then you just say, okay, I've been here before, tie the shoes up and go out and run.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the neuroscience of brainwashing or retraining your brain to have the capacity to overcome the hardships of whatever it is that you're trying to work towards.
Yeah, I was listening to another guy. He's also a neuroscientist, and he was talking about how those neural pathways line up, where if you've gone through some kind of trauma or betrayal, every time you bring up that memory, you're essentially reliving it. Your nervous system can't tell the difference between it being a memory and it being, or it actively happening. And it's so much so that your brain will start to dump dopamine and things like that. Like, it's almost as though when you have a memory of something terrible, every time you memorize it, you're reliving it. And the same pathway works with manifestation, where if you think about those trials and those hardships and things like that, your mind and your body can't tell the difference between you imagining it and it being totally real.
Yeah.
So, like you said, when it comes time, you've done it before. Mm-hmm. So it's not as difficult as it would be if you didn't imagine the hardship in the trial.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how much your mind does, like, control your body.
Yeah.
There was a study that was done, and it was like people who were going to the gym, and they were trying to get like a certain amount of gain, like they were like working out, and so they had a control group that was like working out, and then another control group that was just thinking about going to work out. And people that were going to work out, like they worked out every day for like 2 months, and then the people that weren't would just go and meditate and think about working out for like the same amount of time as the people that are going to the gym, and they had the exact same results, which is fucking crazy. So just thinking about doing the things that are hard is already putting yourself through that.
Well, shit, cancel that gym membership. Just sit there and imagine working out. I have 6-pack abs.
It's really weird, really bizarre, but I don't know. I think that for me anyways, it's like, I'll think about I want to do something, and then I start thinking about all the things that it's going to take to get there, and it's like, fuck, I don't have time for that. So it's already self-defeating, And I think that's how most people are kind of programmed. I think that we're kind of programmed to take the path of least resistance, and you're almost naturally trained to avoid, your brain is trained to avoid like things that you're afraid of, right? So like, you think about like cave people, or that didn't take unnecessary risks because you don't want to get eaten by a saber-toothed tiger or whatever it is that skip to now, where it's like, okay, I don't want to go for that promotion at my job because I don't want to get laughed at. People might think I'm stupid. Okay, you've already defeated yourself by thinking that other people are going to think that. Which, who fucking cares?
Yeah, it is funny how we predicate so much on what other people think, to the point where a lot of people just won't pursue things that they really want because they're so afraid of public opinion and embarrassment and things like that. And to me, it's kind of silly, but I've embarrassed myself so much over my lifetime that I just don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah.
It literally doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, worrying about other people's perception, especially within, the tunnel of manifestation, is just, you're never going to get it if you're worried about what other people think.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. I mean, how many people wanted to become like an actor, which is kind of a silly job when you think about it. But they really wanted it. They went for it. They got turned down. They fell on their face. They had bad performances. They did all of that. But a lot of them made it, You look at like Daniel Day-Lewis, one of the greatest actors ever. Again, method acting. Probably everything he did, people were like, what the fuck is he doing? But turns in an awesome performance every time. And the accolades he gets for it makes it worth it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But yeah, I think with manifestation, it's a little more important to use because it is like your tracking system, because you'll say, I want this, but if you're actually going through the steps, you may find you don't want it, or you may find you want a different version of it or something else, and then making yourself able to receive that and working toward that. And that's why I get away from the idea that it's like woo-woo kind of thing. Because is it really woo-woo that you set a goal and you work toward it? Doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that it's woo-woo in that respect. I think that where people get lost is just like we said at the top of the episode, just like believing that it's all just wishing and waiting for it to appear.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for that $1 billion right there.
Wonder how big that would be, like a pile of money, and it was $1 billion.
It'd probably be the size of the house.
Probably.
In $1 bills?
Oh, I think even in $100 bills.
Oh, in $100 bills? Yeah, it'd probably be the size of the house.
Yeah.
That's why I always laugh in movies when they have like, when there's like a ransom thing. We want $20 million in a briefcase dropped here. Like, you can't carry $20 million in a fucking briefcase. I'll write you a check and throw it in there.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that a lot of people are just afraid of, and maybe it's because you don't know the steps to take, but it's like if you sat down and tried to figure out what it is and then you just start making those steps, yeah, you're going to fail on a lot of those steps, but like all it takes is the one boost to get to the point where you can see, okay, now I can see the next step.
Yeah.
And then you work towards that next step, and then once you get there...
Well, it's like you said, we're already kind of just built in to be so self-defeating. You know, I feel like a couple of years ago I could have told somebody, yeah, I want to start a podcast, and they'd be like, well, it's never going to take off. It's never going to do anything. You know, you're not going to get famous or rich or anything. So, like, what difference does that make?
Yeah.
You know, I want to do it because I want to do it. But people just already have that kind of negative mindset of kind of just accepting that so many of us are just like the worker bees of the world, and you can't break out of that. And yeah, you can.
Yeah.
You know, just because I'm not making a bunch of money on it doesn't mean I'm not going to do it. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is just, especially kind of the old school mentality that we're kind of getting away from, where it's just about you got to go to work and pay your bills and that's it. And like I've said many times, I can't accept that that's all my life is for.
Yeah.
So if I got to manifest something, I will do it.
Yeah, we just have to, and we're taking the steps. We're just, continually pushing ourselves to even this whole like consciousness and manifestation type realm. So even like the podcast, we talked about it for a long time, wanting to do it, and then so you just took the steps, and so here we are, almost a year and a half into it, like still taking those steps.
Yeah.
We're kind of building, branching out into different things.
Yeah, I mean, all the things that we had talked about doing for forever, now we're doing those things because of taking those steps, because of seeing that kind of end goal of, I want to do a podcast, or we want to go ghost hunting and things like that. And not worrying about what other people think about it is a big factor, because there are people who talk shit and run their yap and say, well, you're never going to make it or whatever. But most everybody is like, dude, that's awesome.
What are you talking about, dude? We already have.
We're fucking doctors.
We got our doctorates. Doctor. We're coming up in our PhDs in fucking ghost hunting. Parapsychology, big one. We're movie critics now.
which is actually a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, people want to look at that, and it's just like, what was that movie, The Pursuit of Happiness? People want to tell you can't do something because they can't.
Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of that self-defeat comes from, is just those people think that they can't do something. Like, yes, you can. You're just not doing it.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah. And even like, most people were kind of raised, and a lot of people, I think that I saw people talking about, the thought that like they didn't know how to go about enacting manifestation because they felt like it was very selfish, like a selfish pursuit. In reality, you have to take time to be selfish. Like you have to make time for yourself. You have to do that in order to be authentic,
Yeah.
Whether it's prayer or meditation or, more goal-oriented stuff. I think those things are all the same, kind of a positive, pouring or filling yourself with positive energy towards something that you are wanting or working towards. It's all the same. Like, you see people that talk about manifestation as not a real thing, but then go and pray about their salvation, and it's like, you're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
You're trying to manifest yourself into heaven by praying. You're giving the positive information, affirmations to yourself to continue on this track that you're on. Whether you're doing that to be successful or doing that to be more spiritual, it just depends on your focus.
That's such a weird concept to think that manifesting something for yourself is selfish. I can't wrap my mind around it, because the way I perceive it is when I came into this world, I was alone. When I leave this world, it will be alone.
Yeah.
So I'm with me 100% of the time. Why shouldn't I work for something that I want?
Yeah.
Such a weird thing. But affirmations, I think, are like the biggest step with manifestation, because just giving yourself a positive affirmation about something mentally, you know, like we were talking about with the neuroscience, like it will give you kind of not just a dopamine rush, but it'll give you more of a sensibility that things are positive, that you are reaching or attaining whatever it is you're wanting. You know, like I give myself a positive affirmation before I go to bed, and I say, tomorrow something wonderful will happen to me. And then when I get up, I say, today something wonderful will happen to me, or something wonderful will come my way. And then at the end of the day, it's kind of a fun little game I play where I go back and I think about what was that wonderful thing. You know, sometimes it's as simple as like somebody you haven't heard from in a while text you and said, hey, or you got a good parking space, or you found something you wanted and it was on sale. Like it's not like, oh, something wonderful is going to happen to me today. I am going to bang a supermodel or whatever. It's just like, what small little thing was wonderful in your day.
Yeah.
But as long as I feel like if I don't put that affirmation out there, like tomorrow something will be cool, or today something wonderful is coming my way, it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
But it's also a way for me to maintain a little bit of accountability, to look back at my day and go, hey, this one thing was the wonderful thing that I thought was going to happen.
No, I mean, it also keeps you in a, I would imagine it keeps you in a more positive mindset where you're looking for that, like, and you're seeing good in all the things that are happening, even though, you know, you're looking for that good thing. So it's like positive affirmation.
Well, and you always have to counterbalance too, like when a catastrophe happens at work or whatever, and you have to think about, instead of just being downtrodden and being like, oh, this fucking sucks, I should just go home sick or whatever, like, okay, we're going to get through it, you know. Just having a higher vibrational frequency. And that bleeds into other people. Other people are in tune to it, whether they want to admit to it or not.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to be around somebody who's in a bad mood. But being around somebody who's in a good mood is like infectious.
Yeah. Well, they've proved that scientifically, that so your brain works on alpha, beta, theta, delta, and
I'm only alpha. Only alpha.
different brain waves that your frequencies that your that your brain operates on, and it's, you know, at different times, whether you're like learning or like being submissive or, you know, being relaxed, your brain is operating on a different wavelength, right? At the same time, your heart is also creating its own wave pattern, and they can measure that up to 5 feet away from people.
Really?
Yeah.
That's dope.
And so it's, you can feel the energy coming off of somebody, and that's real. They you know, so if they have a very positive heart vibration, those are those people that you find that you're just, you know, you like to be around, and they're, you know, you're comfortable just being around them all the time. Then there's those other people that you just kind of walk by them and you're just like, bad vibes, dude.
Yeah.
They might walk past you in a store and it's like, oh, fucking that guy's a serial killer. But yeah, that's a real thing. Like they can measure that with some device. That's not my area of specialty, so I can't name the device.
Yeah, that's not in my specific field.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a real thing. Just the way people vibrate, you can pick up on it, you know, and you'll even find yourself on your day-to-day avoiding specific people because they're just that low vibration, negative energy people, and they'll just vacuum it from you. Like, they're like reversed alchemists. They can take your good energy and just turn it into shit.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah. And if anybody listening if you don't feel that way, like you can pick up on other people's energy, it's because you're the negative one. Stop being a douche.
Stop being an energy vampire.
Fucking turd.
Stop being a Colin. You ever watch fucking What We Do in the Shadows?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I only watched a couple episodes, but then there was like the energy vampire that was stealing off of his energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny. A Colin. I like that.
Yeah.
And we all know people like that.
Oh, yeah.
And those people can't manifest anything but just more negativity because they just can't get out of that mind space of everything sucks and I'm angry and I'm going to throw a tantrum.
Yeah. And I get like that sometimes, and it's hard to be cognizant of, like, trying to change that, because sometimes I get in that and just kind of spiral for a few hours, and then it's just like, everything sucks, this is so stupid, like, and then get to a point where, like, okay, breathe.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, this is what we're doing, fuck it, let's have fun. And then, you know, I might seem kind of fucking bipolar, because I'll just, like, be super shitty mood all day long and then just, like, switch.
I do the same thing. But I kind of have, like, a phrase that I latched onto when I catch myself doing it, you know, because there's always a situation, especially at work, you know, whether it's, like, problems with work itself or problems with a person at work, and you get into it, you know, you kind of buy into the drama and the situation, and you do spiral. But when I catch myself doing it, I just, like, in my mind, go, unclench your fucking jaw. And then I just like, oh, yeah, I've been sitting here just gritting my fucking teeth for the last hour. Just loosen up. And then you go, what am I making a big deal about? Nothing.
Sometimes when you're getting fucked from behind, you just got to start pushing back.
Yeah, just throw it back.
Yeah.
It always throws them off the trail. They're like, wait, stop, no!
Then you realize you're the one in control.
You're not supposed to be enjoying this. Oh, I miss those Diddy parties.
I mean,
I'm manifesting for that guy to get his comeuppance, that's for sure.
yeah, I saw something. Is this trial started already?
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't even know, and then I saw something that was talking about, like, day 4, day 5 of the Diddy trial. It's like, oh shit, I didn't even know that was going on.
Yeah, I've kind of loosely been following it because I'm just waiting for the big bombshells to come out. Now it's just little, like, this and that, you know, like leaked audio or certain videos being played in the courtroom and things like that. And I'm just like, this is only going to get way worse from here. But again, it's buying into that drama, you know. And even in the same vein of, like, manifestation and high frequency and things like that, sometimes you got to feed the low frequency a little bit.
Yeah. It definitely, like, not knowing if you're on one wavelength all the time, you like we talked about with the car, like, you're wanting this car, and then you finally get it and you're, like, psyched about it, and then a few months go by and then it's just normal. You have to, you know, kind of bring yourself back down to that space where you didn't have the car, and then realize, oh shit, I do have something going for me, you know. I do.
Yeah.
Having that, like, realization of being grateful or proud of yourself that you've achieved what you've set out to do. I think that goes into the manifestation. You know, once you've achieved one goal, you can see the next one as attainable also. If you look back and see yourself saying that, you know, the one that you just achieved you thought was going to be super hard and you got there, and then the next one you think is going to be super hard. Okay, well, I've done this already, this can't be that bad.
Yeah.
And you take that next step. So you know, being grateful, I think, is just one of those steps in the meditation of manifestation.
I agree, and I think it keeps your vibration where it should be. I mean, thinking about the car thing, you know, where after driving it for a few months, it feels normal. So how do you make yourself thankful to have that car? Well, I mean, I know how I do it. Like every time I go clean out my vehicle or go through the car wash or I get a new like accessory for it or something like that, I'm like, oh, this is so cool, you know? And you kind of bring yourself back to that like new car smell or that first day, you know, when you get to drive it off the lot. And it's awesome. It's great. I'm going to go show everybody and I'm going to post about it on social media and all that. Doing those little things to take care of what you manifested gives you a lot of peace and a lot of joy. And it does make it easier to go to the next manifestation because you're like, I have this and I worked for it, I manifested it, I got it, now I maintain it and I'm still thankful for it, but I'm still going to move to my next goal.
Yeah. So we've talked about it, you know, what it is. Are there things that right now that you are wanting to talk about that you are like currently trying to manifest?
Not really. I'm more in that space of that early stage of manifestation of what do I actually want? And so I'm trying to figure that out before I actually try to reach for anything. Because it's easy to say, you know, I want more money, or you know, I want a healthy relationship with somebody, or I want, you know, the channel to blow up or whatever. But it's like thinking about all those things and weighing out the positives and the negatives, and am I in the right level of vibration to receive those things? So that's kind of where more of where I'm at headspace wise. Are you manifesting anything?
You know, I was thinking about that and I was like, yeah, I'm not really trying to manifest anything right now, but I actually am. I'm trying to be more physically fit. Mm-hmm. And I've been doing this for, you know, a little while now. But it was like, you know, changing my diet, changing my workout routine to incorporate more like cardio. Mm-hmm. And while I was doing these things, I also I'm just like uncovering things that I can change day to day, and it's like really eye-opening to see how easy your mind can control your body. Just thinking about like every day I wake up and I'm like, fuck, man, I don't want to go to the gym. Mm-hmm. I can take today off, you know, I can do a cheat day today on my diet, like whatever. I just want to eat a big fucking pizza and sit at home and watch TV or something. And so like I, you know, started a routine where the hardest thing that I want to do in the morning, the thing that I most do not want to do is take a cold shower. And so I do that. Like,
fucking agree with you there.
I jump in there, turn it on as cold as I can, just like step in the shower and die for about 2 minutes, you know. And so that's the fucking hardest. I do not want to do that at all. Like there's nothing in me that wants to do that. So I do that because, okay, that's the hardest thing I have to do today. What's the next hardest thing I have to do? Okay, go to the gym. Like, yeah, go to the gym, do my workout, and then do like mobility training, kind of stretching and trying to get to a place where I feel like my body is more responsive, and it seems like that's helping quite a bit. And while I'm doing that, so I'll like work out and then stretch for like 20 minutes, which I wasn't doing at all before. Because I'm doing that, I like focus on the things that I just achieved. Like I just did my workout, I was able to, you know, increase my weight limits or increase my, like before, like my settings on the treadmill was like super high, and like my heart rate would be fucking crazy because I'm just, you know, taxing myself. Now I'm on the same settings when my heart rate is like a lot lower because my body is getting used to it, and so it's like, okay, my cardio is getting better, and so just appreciating the things that I've done to kind of like really brainwash myself into believing that it's working. Like, I did it. This is where what do I do next? What do I do next? So, I didn't really think about it as manifestation, but that's kind of what's been going on.
Yeah, and I have something kind of similar where, when I edit videos, whether it's like a podcast video or the movie reviews or even like the ghost videos and stuff like that, where sometimes it's a slog to get through, because that's like the work part of it, whereas like this is the fun part, this is the enjoyable part, and the other enjoyable part is like when people listen to it and want to talk to you about it and things like that. But the work part is the editing, which really it's not super time consuming, but it's just the way our brains are wired that, rather than do this, I could go play video games, or I can go get a snack. I can do literally anything else that sounds more fun.
Yeah. So
kind of having that same system like you're talking about, where you're kind of going through a progression of, now my heart rate's better, or I'm pushing more weight and things like that. And I kind of had to come up with a method of it on my own, which was, part of that was the social media clips. While you're editing it, you're like, oh, that's a great moment, I'm going to make a clip out of that. But then the other part of it is just looking towards when I finish it, when I finally get to hit save and export and create a finished video, because it gives me a little sense of like pride, like, oh, I accomplished it, I did it, So once I finish one, especially once I've gone through the whole process where I've edited it and I've created a video and I've uploaded it and it's scheduled to release on another day, and then once all that's done, I can move that video into my external hard drive for storage, like I feel really complete about it. Like, yeah, I had to sit here and, stroke two keys for an hour and a half, but look what I did, And I really think that when you accomplish those goals, like same with yours or that or anything else, it gives you that sense of pride, and you are manifesting that. It's not just I worked and I earned it. It's I don't even have to do that. You don't have to go to the gym. Yeah. You're manifesting it because of a goal. It's not like I clock in and get paid to do it, or you clock in and get paid to do it. You're manifesting a specific goal.
Yeah. And it's wild, because you're like, okay, here's the woo-woo thought that I had, right?
Oh, I want to hear it.
So it's like, you think that manifesting, you're just going to think about it and then like wish for it and then something happens, right? In reality, it's kind of what happens, because there is only right now that is actually happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
So eventually when you get to that right now, it's going to be right now, right?
Yeah.
So if you time travel to that right now, then yeah, you manifest it to happen exactly when it's supposed to.
Yeah, and that's the part where, again, I still have trouble believing, but the older I get and the more experience I have at life, and the more I understand things like manifestation or consciousness or, fucking astral projection, all that stuff, it kind of leads me down the path to believe that things do happen for a reason. And yes, when you manifest it, it is going to be at the right moment.
Yeah.
Or when you meet the right person, it's going to be at the right moment, And not to say everything always works out the way it should be, but everything seems to unfold the way it should.
Yeah. Yeah, even though it might not be the outcome that you're hoping for, it's what's supposed to happen, I think.
Yeah, and that goes back to the law of detachment, of not tethering yourself to a specific outcome.
Yeah.
Which kind of seems like indirect conflict with manifesting something. Because you think, if you're trying to manifest $1 billion, but in the end you only get $1 million, like that's not the same thing. But as long as you're detached from the idea of like, I specifically wanted $1 billion, but instead I ended up with $1 million, which is more than I have now, but again, being thankful for it.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm still thankful I have $1 million.
Yeah.
Want to see me blow it in one day?
And just make a YouTube channel out of it, and then you can get another $1 million, it seems like. Mr. Beast style.
Mr. Beast style, I like it. Although, if you gave me like $1 million right off the bat, none of it's going to be like a cool, extravagant thing. It's going to be like pay off my parents' house and pay off debt and things like that. It's not going to be like a big shopping spree.
Yeah. I might buy some new shoes.
Yeah.
But
And probably a new shoe rack.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Pay off my house, my mom's house, and then I think that's about $1 million right now.
I think I'd pay off your house too.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I would. That's what doctors do for each other.
I appreciate that, doctor. It saves me some time and money to pursue another doctorate.
And it would allow me to guilt trip you to hang out whenever I wanted.
Yeah. Well, at that point, yeah, I'd be like, cool, man, yeah.
It's like
my liege.
It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. Hey, Spence, you want to hang out?
Yep.
Fuck. Yes. See, I could manifest that to happen. I could picture it in my mind's eye.
For the most part, if you called me at 3 o'clock in the morning and I was up and you asked if I wanted to hang out, I'd probably be like, okay.
Same.
Yeah. So.
Correct vibrational frequency.
Yeah.
But yeah. Have you ever manifested anything and it came true?
I feel like I probably have without knowing it, without and just like one of those things where you're thinking about something and then it happens and you're like, I fucking knew it. And of course, like everything else in life, like the things that you kind of hope for and they come true that are good, you don't really recognize.
Yeah.
But the things that like you worry about happening and then they do happen, they kind of stand out. So I mean, probably, but nothing specific that I can think of.
I think it happens with a lot of very small things, which again ties back to consciousness and vibration, where I think, when you have a random thought about somebody and then you'll see them or they text you or call you or whatever randomly over the next, day or so, I kind of think that's a manifestation in a way. Because you'll go, hey, I wonder what fucking Joe Schmo's up to these days. And then the next day, Joe Schmo hits you up. Hey, man, how you doing? I think you putting that out into the ether is just giving it power and kind of fueling that connection momentarily, which causes one or the other to, connect in a way.
Yeah.
But I also think the same can happen through your dreams. You have a dream about somebody and then the next day you run into them randomly.
Yeah.
I think that's a strange little form of manifestation.
I do too. Yeah, I guess, yeah. I mean, whether it's manifestation or just like almost in the realm of telepathy or precog, where it's like so, we've talked about people having energy and like brain waves and you being connected to certain people, and so like whether you're like thinking about this person because your energy is searching for that type of energy again, mm-hmm. or it's like that energy is already moving your direction and you're sensing it, and then you have that, that precognition of you're going to see this person or whatever, and it actually happens. I think that's totally possibility.
Well, I think all those things they're all tied together.
Yeah.
The consciousness, telepathy, the astral projection, manifestation, I think those are all just separate components to the same thing. Well, I mean, I think consciousness would be the overall, like the umbrella that all those things sit under. But I do think that they're so indefinitely tied together that it's hard to imagine one thing without the other.
Yeah.
Because you think about, even with manifestation, you're using your consciousness to manifest something. It's not just, your body goes into work mode and you put in the work to do it. Like, your consciousness has to have it. You have to be able to imagine yourself having it. And you can't have an imagination without consciousness, without being like a sentient being of yourself. I mean, a robot can't manifest anything because it's just a robot. It has no consciousness.
Yeah. And to get there, you have to kind of be thinking of it as like everything is made out of electricity, right? Like the atoms are all electrical wavelengths that are vibrating in a certain pattern to make this table or this phone or whatever. Our bodies are all made of electricity. That's all that we are. And those waves, brain waves and heart waves, are the output of the electrical energy that we're made out of. And so yeah, trying to manifest something, it sounds woo-woo, but if you're aligning your electricity in a certain way, it's going to be more of a direct route to that pathway, that thing that you're trying to accomplish. So I kind of started out this whole thing with like thinking that manifestation was kind of like very woo-woo, but until I understood what it is actually talking about. And there are people in like on TikTok and stuff that do talk about manifestation in the woo-woo realm of like just wishing for it and then it happens.
Yeah.
Which I don't agree with. But
you can always identify those people too, because they also do fucking tarot.
Yeah. They definitely have rocks in their pockets,
Yeah.
That's just a joke. If you carry crystals around, good for you. I don't really care. Doesn't bother me.
I only care about what's in my fucking pockets.
Yeah, rocks and crystals are cool to look at. Yeah, I think they carry, frequencies also, but I'm not going to carry around a bunch of rocks in my pockets.
No, there's a lot to be said about the whole crystal realm and all that, but when it becomes your entire personality, you've taken it too far.
Yeah, just like any other thing, a well balanced diet of like bullshit across the spectrum is better.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree, and it's to me, manifestation was something I kind of grasped onto a while back, but I didn't really have the bandwidth to receive the information because I was still kind of in that like negative mindset of that's bullshit, you can't do that. But the more I listened to and the more I understood about it, the more I went, well, it's possible, whatever. And now I've gotten to a place where it's like, especially with all the things we've discussed and looked into and read about, like I was saying, with all these things tied together under this one umbrella, it's kind of like, who's to say it's not real?
Yeah.
Who am I in this tiny little speckle of life? What power do I have to say it can't happen?
Yeah.
None.
That's what I think is really kind of fascinating about, like, if we were to do this like a year ago, it'd probably be a totally different conversation.
Oh, we'd be talking hardcore shit.
Yeah. Whereas now, or we've talked about so many different things that are possibilities. This is just another thing that's like, open to explore. Like,
yeah,
fucking try it, dude. See what happens.
Well, and I think especially for me, where I felt like my life took a huge downturn, and it was kind of like, at the time, I would grasp onto anything if it kind of gave me a sense of purpose. Mm. But like I said, at the time, I didn't have the bandwidth for it. So maybe I kind of manifested the bandwidth to be able to receive that in a way.
I like that.
I also really like, in the realm of manifestation, the idea of when you're manifesting something, you have to envision yourself already having it, and you have to be the person who already has it in order to receive it.
Yeah.
And I think that's such a cool thing because, again, with $1 billion, I don't have the right mindset to have that right now. But if I was going to manifest it and I had this billionaire mentality of like, oh, I'm going to make smart investments, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to take care of these people, and blah, blah, blah. Maybe I do have the mentality, so I'll take that $1 billion. But I think that just having the mindset of I already have it is, I think, so wonderful, because you can trick yourself with that, or you can use it as like a guiding light. Like the millions of times I tried to quit smoking was like, you would go tell people, oh yeah, I quit smoking. It kind of like you need that internal praise from other people. But you just set yourself up for failure because you're envisioning that you already did it, but you didn't.
Yeah.
You're just envisioning the end result of people telling you, great job. You didn't actually think about like the hard times when you're really fiending for a smoke. You didn't, go through like envisioning yourself finally washing your clothes and going, God, these stink because they smell like cigarette smoke, or the money you save or anything like that. You're not going through the steps of manifesting it. You're just thinking about the end result.
Yeah.
So it's within that same vein is, what steps do you think of to envision yourself as a billionaire?
Yeah, I think that you have to the trick is you have to not just think about the $1 billion, but think about what it is you're going to do to get that $1 billion, or what a person would do. And that was a lady that was talking about it. If you can't see yourself doing that, envision somebody else that you respect doing that.
Ooh, I like that.
And so like you envision what that person would do to, get to this place that you would like to go. So you envision somebody that you think highly of or respect, and you think is capable of doing these things. You envision them doing it, and then slowly you start envisioning yourself working with that person, taking those steps, helping that person, and then you finally get to a point where you fire that person and you're the one in charge.
That's a very interesting concept.
Yeah. So it's like, you're not just thinking about $1 billion, but you're like, okay, what am I going to... So I want to be a billionaire that does a podcast. So the podcast is the thing. So what would a billionaire that has a podcast do? Okay, I need to book these people. How do I book these people? And you just go take those steps to get to that point or whatever it is that you're trying to do. Even envisioning somebody else doing it for you makes you realize that the possibility is real of taking those steps, and then you are no longer scared to do it.
Interesting. It's kind of a weird conundrum of, like you were saying, envisioning somebody else becoming a billionaire, then you're working with him, and then you fire them. I think that's how most billionaires become billionaires.
Yeah.
You don't get super wealthy by being a nice person.
No. That's like most people that are very, very successful are kind of viewed as selfish people. And it's like, well, they kind of had to be.
Yeah.
To get, they're very motivated. Then again, it's like, does that person have what they actually wanted?
Yeah.
In the end, and you see a lot of these people that are like super wealthy or super famous that are miserable because they thought what they wanted was to be rich and famous, and now they hate their lives because they're slaves to this machine that they have to keep feeding.
And there's a sex tape of them with Diddy floating around somewhere.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, and that's kind of going back to when you asked me if I was manifesting anything, and I said I'm still kind of in this space where I would rather take the time and think about the pitfalls and the end result of, do I actually want it? Because you think back on everything you've ever wanted. How much of it that you got were you happy with? it's probably not a lot when you think about it. You know, I mean, think about the tattoos you wanted to get when you were in your teens and in your 20s. Would you be happy with them now? Probably not.
No. And that's why I see people with, like, you know, Looney Tunes characters or something, like, okay.
Yeah, and they probably hate it. You know, a lot of them probably do.
Yeah.
It really is me thinking through the process of what I really want. And it doesn't matter what realm it's in, if it's financial or a relationship or what I want to do with this channel or whatever. Like, I want to, when it comes to manifesting something, I want to make sure the end result I'm actually going to be happy with and still be able to have the gratitude towards, like, still appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah, I was watching, I don't know if this is that same one, but the guy was talking about, like, almost as a counterpoint to what you're saying, is that he was saying the method is ready, fire, aim. So it's like you come up with the idea, go for it, and then move your aim, because you're not going to be able to perceive all the pitfalls.
Yeah.
But, like, you're ready, you know something is going to happen, so you just go for it, and then something happens that you weren't expecting it, and then now you have to aim. So it's like, if you're kind of taking all the time to aim, then you're not going to actually fire.
Now, I do agree with that to a large degree, because that's kind of how I've done my whole life. I've always just winged it.
Yeah.
Like, no prep, just go. And then just ride the wave however it goes. But I feel like within the grander scheme of my life, I still have plenty of time left on this earth. Maybe I should slow down for a change and actually try to plan something out,
Yeah.
you know. Plus, I think, you know, if I was just to put it through the lens of, like, this channel, where I could take a long time to think about it and a long time to, like, prep and manifest what I want, I can also avoid things that I don't want. You know, here's an example of, like, let's say, you know, we start getting crazy views and it's monetized and we're doing really well, and then somebody offers to come up and give us a contract for it. Well, I don't want to do that. Yes, it's more money, but now I have to operate under their rules instead of mine. You know, pitfalls like that,
Yeah.
where if I take the time to really think about how I want the future to be, I can be prepared for that. Versus right now, if somebody was like, hey, sign this contract for 10 years and you can make, you know, $1 million each or whatever, I'd probably sign it in a heartbeat. But ask me again in a year and I might tell you to go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I couldn't imagine having to do this show and not say fuck, you know, or
Yeah.
them being like, we want you to talk about sports. Yeah.
Well, I think that's kind of what happened on, like, with the BuzzFeed guys, where they were working for BuzzFeed, and then, like, they became super popular, but they were still just getting paid, like, the same shit that they had because their contract said that.
Yeah.
And so they wanted to do their own shit, but they had to leave everything that they had just worked 10 years for, or whatever, how long they worked there, behind, and then start a whole new thing.
Which admittedly was not nearly as good.
No, I mean, they've got quite a few things actually going now, where they have, like, I think they have like 5 or 6 different shows that they're doing.
They do. I was
YouTube channels.
watching a video about it, and there was like some controversy where they kind of shit on their fans from the BuzzFeed days, and a lot of their stuff just didn't have the same quality to it, you know. And admittedly, I've only watched a little bit of it, but it didn't have that same magic that the BuzzFeed thing did. But see, even that is kind of a pitfall in and of itself, where, you know, if you go the contract route, maybe the quality of your stuff changes because now you have to work under different criteria. Or if you go from a contracted thing to a non-contracted thing, where you don't have, you know, like the support system of a network or whatever it is, that your quality changes and it may not be as good.
Yeah.
And that's where I I think kind of long term of like, I would rather keep this under our umbrella, you know. Same with all of it, you know. Sure, you can monetize and get paid for it, but I don't ever want anybody telling us what we can or cannot talk about or what we can or cannot do.
Yeah.
Freedom of speech, baby.
Yeah, if I want to say that Mark Zuckerberg is a robot and he takes adrenochrome, I should be able to say that.
Yeah, without getting taken down. But I guess this is sidetracked, but I have been thinking a lot about like the First Amendment and freedom of speech, and I firmly believe in that. You should be able to say whatever you want, however you want to say it. Whatever tone, inflection you want to use, it doesn't matter. But there are consequences of what you say.
Yeah.
So if you're like that one dude on the plane who's yelling the N-word, if people are recording it, like there's a consequence for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Same with on here. I mean, I don't think anything that we've said should have any consequences because we've never really said anything like hurtful or rude or terrible in that respect of joking about fucking Zuckerberg being a robot who takes adrenochrome is clearly a joke.
Yeah.
Ish.
Kind of.
More or less.
Really, I mean, personally, I think that, like, if you say something that offends me, it has more to do with me than it does you.
Absolutely.
Like, I definitely have issues with what you said because I have issues regardless, you know?
Yeah.
So whatever you say offends me because of my beliefs, and it's like, that's my fault, not yours.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Now, if somebody says something to me and I have issues and I punch them in the face, cause and effect, like... Consequences. Same thing, if I say something that offends somebody that they punch me in the face, that's what I get. But if it offends them, I wasn't trying to offend that person, I was just talking shit.
Unless
if they're
you were,
offended, like...
Unless you were outwardly being offensive.
True.
Like, if you throw a racial slur at somebody of that particular race that you're trying to slur, then you were intentionally being offensive, and you fucking deserve to get punched in the face.
Yeah.
So, cause and effect, consequence.
Yeah. And most of the time, like, when I call people names, I don't typically use racial slurs. But, like, making fun of somebody's race, I'll do it to them in the space of, like, making a joke. Like,
Yeah.
making fun of Stitch for being Asian. Like, which is, like, only because it's so hard to believe. Like,
Yeah.
I had no idea that he was even partly Asian, and then after he said that he was, I was like, holy shit. Yeah, you are.
Fuck, makes sense.
Yeah. I can see it, dude.
Well, I think most people are inherently not racist.
Yeah.
I think we do feed into stereotypes and racist jokes and things like that, but I don't believe that most people are actually racist.
I would think most people are more ignorant than racist. Like, ignorant in the sense of, like, they just don't understand
Yeah.
why or how certain things can be offensive. And so they don't think that they're offensive, you know, but, like, that's not their fault. They don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it just takes one, like, wake-up call moment for them to go, oh, shit, I've been an asshole this whole time.
Yeah.
So,
Whereas, like, I know I'm an asshole.
well, I have such a good time with people of different races who just embrace jokes and things like that, where it's like, you're taking the piss right out of the situation.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's so much better for us as people to just be like, yeah, you're a different race than me. Who gives a shit? You want to hear a joke? You know, or like Ty, for example. Every time I hear a black joke, I go tell Ty. Obviously, Ty's black. He loves them. He thinks it's fucking hilarious. And oftentimes when I see him, he's like, hey, you got a black joke for me? Oh, man, not today. Because we don't care. I don't care that he's black. He doesn't care that I'm white.
Yeah.
We just like to share jokes and laugh.
Yeah. I mean, stereotypes are funny.
They can be. Speaking of which, I was actually thinking about this the other day, and now that we're on the subject, I'm going to ask you, what is like the racial slur for polys?
I don't know. Like, Tongans and Samoans call each other, like, I mean, there's like a horse or a rock. And that's why it's kind of funny that the rock chose the rock, because it's kind of like a Samoan slur almost, saying that Samoans will wipe their ass with rocks. And Tongans like to eat horse. And it's like, but I never thought that was kind of, like, I never took any offense to either one of those. Like,
That's kind of funny, though.
those are the only ones that I know of.
See, and I was like racking my brain. I was like, it's gotta be something to do with a coconut.
Or maybe coconuts can be used as, I still wouldn't take offense to that.
No, I wouldn't either. I mean,
But I mean, I don't really take offense to much. I mean, I just don't fucking care
Me neither.
what people say.
I find myself getting wound up about stupid little things here and there, and then I go, why? What am I even getting fucking upset about? Who cares?
Yeah, I've been called more racial slurs of races that I'm not. And been called like fucking Middle Eastern racial slurs and South American racial slurs.
Maybe a few Mexican ones sprinkled in there.
Yeah. All of those things, and I'm like, okay.
I think we need to come up with better racial slurs for white folks. Because you get like cracker and honky and redneck. There's no creativity there.
No. I don't even understand cracker.
Just because you're white, plain, tasteless,
Oh.
salty.
Some crackers are real good though, like Ritz. Very
Ritz are
buttery.
dope. I'm still a fan of saltines.
Yeah,
Who do you turn to when you're sick? Fucking saltines,
Saltines.
baby. The backbone.
Who's gonna put a little substance in your soup?
Yeah.
Saltines.
Goes great with chili.
Yeah. I prefer cornbread, but
I do too. Oh, God, cornbread. Anyway. Manifestation. I'm going to manifest the fuck out of some cornbread later.
hell yeah.
By that, I mean I'm going to go get a box out of the pantry and make some fucking cornbread.
See, you made the manifestation, you set the plan, and now all you gotta do is take the steps.
Yeah, I mean,
Manifestation.
I'm envisioning the hardships of it, the stirring, the preheating of the oven, the
What happens
dishes
if you
after.
run out of spoons?
Use a fork.
I'm just gonna get a dirty spoon and wash it off. Good.
Yep.
See? No
That's it.
obstacles didn't come your way now.
Dude, it's fucking manifested cornbread. It happened. See how easy that was?
Now, in the future now, you're gonna be sitting there enjoying cornbread.
Yeah. And I'm going to manifest some canned chili on my way home later, and I'm going to have chili and cornbread.
Hell yeah.
See?
What's your, you like Hormel?
I do like Hormel.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It is pretty good. So I used to work in a manufacturing plant that made chili. And so we made like Wolf and Denison chili. So if you ever get the chance to get Wolf chili, just skip it. Go for Denison. It's
Was
way
that
better.
a brand?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know if they even still make it, but
I was like, when you said that, I was thinking like wolf meat chili. I didn't even know that was a thing.
it reminds me.
Fuck it, I'd try it.
Yeah. I don't give a shit what animal it is. I'd try it.
Yeah.
You know who Nick Swardson is?
Yeah.
He's got a joke in one of his stand-ups. He's like, I can't wait till I get old like my grandma, and I could just say weird shit at weird times. You know, like the waiter puts the plate in front of you, and you're just like, I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. And he's like, well, what's the matter with it? I don't like it. I don't like it. Does it taste bad? I don't like it. I don't like it. Well, what's wrong with it? This tastes like wolf pussy. I can't think.
I mean, you can start doing that now, really. You don't have to wait till you're old.
I'm gonna manifest that shit. Next time we're out to lunch, fucking.
How is everything? Well, this tastes like wolf pussy, but I'm enjoying it quite thoroughly.
Yeah, I mean, it just so happens I am already a fan of wolf pussy, so. What a fucking weird thing to
Wolf
say.
pussy and bull dick soup. Love them.
Bulldogs. And some goldfish anus on top. So, what is something you'd like to manifest for your future?
I don't know. Right now, I feel kind of content. I'm trying to manifest myself into a more healthy space where I'm taking steps to be take care of myself. But I feel like that's going pretty well, and so like long term. I got to figure out how to retire. I think that's something that a lot of people kind of need to focus on or would like to focus on.
Yeah. I think that's a thing that a lot of people kind of don't worry about till you get there. And then you go, fuck.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, shit.
Shite. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a good thing to long-term goal about, you know.
Yeah.
I think I'm trying to manifest in the near future more of that last sip, just like put that bubble right up under there. Trying to manifest more of the creation stuff we do, like podcasts and ghost hunting and the shooting video and things like that. I want more of that in my future, and it's kind of creating a pathway to make more of that content. And because just as well as I do, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
Just to go out there and do those things, and you're hanging out with your buddies and shit like that. So it's like the experience of that is worth the effort that goes into editing. And let me also say that the editing thing is not like this serious fucking chore. It's not like clocking in for a 12-hour shift. It's just you're at home and you're doing it, and there's just other shit you'd rather do. That's just what it means. I'm not trying to be a big fucking crybaby about it, but yeah, manifesting those things or creating content that is more enjoyable for other people to watch, and I think that's a big part of it, is putting something out that somebody's going to get enjoyment from. Even if it's fucking 10 people watch the video and they go, oh, that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Worth it.
Yeah. I think we should. I still have this thought about, like, especially the ghost hunting stuff, about, like, so you watch, like, Nuke's Top 5 and stuff like that, and they have videos, ghost hunting videos of, like, people doing ghost, maybe not even ghost hunting videos, just, like, videos that are submitted where the people don't even notice that they caught something weird on camera. And, like, somebody that was watching the video online caught something, So even just, like, doing an edited version where you're, like, getting all the bits and pieces of us doing this stuff and then putting out all of the raw footage of just, like, everything that happened, so that people that are interested in doing that can kind of look through there and see if there's anything there. So that's like watch ghost videos, I'm always just watching in the background to see if anything's actually happening.
Yeah.
Most of the time anyways. I think that would be kind of cool, just to, put raw footage out there of people that are, like, internet sleuths that don't want to go out and fucking
just go ghost hunting
themselves. They can still do the ghost hunting just on camera.
I think that's a pretty cool idea. I mean, you wouldn't get a lot of viewership, but what is important is that if somebody did see something that we missed, it'd be so cool.
Yeah, I think it would be a little more valid too. Like,
yeah,
we didn't set this up, we didn't even know it was there, but this is what we caught, and somebody else found it, not even us.
So that kind of leads me into another point I kind of wanted to throw out there. The parallel of manifestation with the kind of summoning of UAPs. Do you think that, like, what's his name, Chris Bledsoe? Is that right?
Yeah.
Do you think what he's doing is just manifesting, or does he have a specific ability?
I think that he has a specific ability to find the frequency that is within all of us, the capability within all of us to kind of attract those things. But just like all of those, like the Tom McGonigal talked about, it's more of an ability that's kind of lays dormant and within everybody that has the ability to do this. We just don't know how to tune ourselves to it, don't know how to attain that like frequency that will get us there. So I do think it is a special ability that he has adapted to find that frequency and attract those, but I do believe that everybody can do it. It just takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that it's more attracting something that's already there as opposed to manifesting something that wasn't there before. If that makes sense?
Yeah. It does, and I have been kind of, in a way, manifesting some of those abilities as well. You know, everything we've talked about with astral projection and remote viewing and telepathy and things like that. Like I've kind of played with that stuff lately, and that in and of itself is manifesting, just trying it out.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm still kind of in that like early planning, understanding phase of manifesting, where I do think about the pitfalls of, what if I astral project and I can't come back? Or what if I remote view something I'm not supposed to see? Or what if I don't click back in correctly? Things like that. So it's like, it seems really cool to be able to have those abilities, but there's definitely downsides.
Yeah.
So it's almost manifesting a soft version of it, where I can just kind of play with it a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, and how do you like talking about like visualizing and kind of going through the scenario, playing through the scenario of what might happen to get your mind ready for something like that if and when it does happen.
Yeah.
Like, how do you like prepare yourself to see a fucking entity?
Exactly. And that's definitely like the pitfall, or the kind of barrier you want to stay within of, I have to accept that if I am able to do this crazy thing that I never thought I could do, let's say I have the ability, can I deal with the negatives of it?
Yeah.
And if
Am
I can't,
I going
maybe
to
I
be
shouldn't do
okay
it.
with shitting in my pants?
Or if it's more of like a remote view where there's like a physicality to it, am I okay shitting somebody else's pants?
Definitely okay with that.
Yeah. Or, if you astral project and you could just like sleeve into somebody else's body who's also astral projecting, wake up just long enough to shit their pants, get the fuck out of Dodge.
Imagine getting back to your vessel and be like, fuck, who did that?
God, what? I shit my pants?
Did you shit my pants?
And then there's, you go to clean it up and you're like, I have not had corn in weeks. This is not possible. But yeah, I thought this was something we should talk about.
Yeah.
But I think within the realm of all those things, the consciousness, the manifestation, the astral projection, all that, I feel like we've covered a lot, but we're only kind of scratching the surface.
Yeah. And I feel like I think I've realized that, we all are practicing manifestation. We just don't define it that way.
Yeah.
Which, you have to realize what manifestation actually is before you can understand how to utilize it. And I think that was the first step that we just took.
I think so. And I mean, even some of the like inadvertent manifestation, like I was talking about with, you think about somebody and then they contact you, or think about a movie you haven't seen in forever and then suddenly it's on a streaming service or whatever. I think that is a subconscious, inadvertent manifestation, which again plays into the factor of shit happens for a reason. It's not just chance or luck.
Yeah.
But yeah, just being able to understand the process of manifestation and how it actually works versus, you know, kind of dispelling just this whole wish it and it happens. That plays a big factor.
Yeah. Intention, what is it? Action goes to where intention flows.
Yes.
I mean, that's the saying. I might have that backwards.
If it's not, it's changed now.
Yeah.
It's on
I
record.
mean, why would I say it wrong? I'm a fucking doctor.
Fucking doctor. Doctor?
Doctor.
So yeah, I'm glad we talked about that one.
Me too.
We got so much more shit we got to cover with all this woo-woo brain stuff.
Yeah, I mean, just stay in a positive mind frame, push towards your goals, and manifest the fucking shit out of whatever you're trying to get.
Manifest the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is right as you were saying that, I was like thinking, say manifest the fuck out of it. I manifested you to do that.
Again, I felt a little tingle in my fucking little...
Right in the undercarriage? Just
right
a,
in my little tingle in my taint, and I was like, manifest that shit.
I dig it. All right, I'm going to manifest the end of this episode. Okay, love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.